Coach, tell me about your favorite Tennessee game, maybe as a player, and why.
Well, there's no question that my favorite game at Tennessee as a player was the 1956 Georgia Tech game in Atlanta, because we were playing for all the marbles, so to speak. We were 1-1-1 against Georgia Tech in my career. We played at Georgia Tech my sophomore year. They beat us 28-7. They scored 2 touchdowns on 2 punt returns. And the next year they came to Tennessee, and we both were getting real good at that time. Bobby Dodd was the Georgia Tech coach and played for General Neyland in 28 and 29 and 30. Bowden White was our coach, and he played for General Neyland in 1937, 38, and 36. And so we tied my junior year in Knoxville. And I played 60 minutes. I never left the game. We tied 7-7. I threw the touchdown pass, and they tied. We tied them, and they tied us, and they won the championship. They had a better record overall, and they went to Sugar Bowl and beat the University of Pittsburgh 14-7. Well, that year we played single platoon football. You play it both ways, offense and defense. There was no free substitution. So I called the plays. We didn't have signal systems and didn't have free substitution where the coaches could send plays in on every play. So I called the plays in the huddle, and I thought all summer, in the off season, any one break next year could cost either one of the teams the game, because we only lost one starter, Charlie Coffey, a senior guard, and Georgia Tech lost an All-American guard. That's the only player they lost as a starter. So we were both going to be really good the next year and going to Atlanta, which wasn't easy to win down there. So we go down there, and we had a tough, tight game, and a tough, tight game, and we were 0-0 in the second quarter of the game. In the second quarter, both playing very close to the vest and playing the kicking game greatly. And we both had good defenses, and we had offensive threats. But I had first down. We had third down on our own 15-yard line, and they backed their safety man up, anticipating I would quick kick on third down, which we did a lot. Quick kick, your regular formation, you take 3 quick steps back, the center would snap the ball to you, and you kick a low spiral. Well, I carried the ball off tackle, that safety man, and moved back, anticipating me calling a quick kick on 3rd and 4, and I ran the off tackle play to the right, and I made the first down by 1 yard to at the 19-yard line. The next play was 1st and 10 on our 19. They pulled the safety man up. I didn't know that. I'm back in the huddle on one knee calling the plays. It's the only time in my 3 years that I called a quick kick on first down. I called a quick kick and kicked it 69 yards. They ended up on their 13-yard line, I believe it was, and we owned the field position the second quarter. 0-0 tie. Again, I'd known all along, if one fumble or one interception or one slice punt, it might cost you the game or cost them the game. So we both were playing it close to the best. But opening early in the second half, early in the third quarter, I called the fake the draw to the fullback and hit Buddy Cruz on an outcut for 12 yards. He made the halfback miss him and turned it into a 17-yard gain. The very next play, I faked the foot fake to the fullback running up the middle and could drop back and hit Buddy Cruz on an inside post. So we went from the outside out to the inside quick post, and Buddy caught it on a run, hit him right in his hands, and he caught it and went to the 1 yard line. So I gave the ball to the fullback. He scored, Tommy Bronson, on 1st and 1 from the 1. We missed the extra point. We had a great team. We finished up number 2 in the country, but we were one of the worst extra point kicking teams in the nation. Now, a very important thing about that game. In 1969, Sports Illustrated came out with a special issue. That was the 100th year of college football. The first college game in America was played in 1869, 100 years before 1969. And Princeton played Rutgers. So in the special edition, they picked the top greatest team games in the nation's history. Well, that is impossible objectively, but they picked them, and Georgia Tech, Tennessee, 1956 was picked number 2 of all time. Ohio State beat Notre Dame. That was picked number 1. We were picked number 2, and it mentioned Bowden White, is the head coach of Tennessee, and Bobby Dodd, head coach at Georgia Tech. And it mentions star players in the teams: Paul Rotenberry, Georgia Tech, and Johnny Majors of Tennessee. So that was a classic, one of the all-time great classics in college football history.